All right, we are recording. I figured I owed people some kind of explanation for what exactly I've been up to with this project. This is the Metrovania project that I'm going to be handing out notes about at Midwest Fur Fest. And one of the things that I have been working on is what I call elemental barriers. They will only open if you hit them with the correct element. Now, Star is one of the playable characters here. I got her permission to use her Starberry Dream character. I'm hoping to get more permission from additional furries in the community. This is generic purple protogen. On the left is an earlier and uglier variation of the elemental barrier system. I decided it was too ugly and I had to create my own. His electric attacks aren't doing a thing. His air attacks aren't doing a thing. So sad, too bad. And Z can learn his Thunder spell depending on what routes you take. She doesn't have anywhere near as much MP as Star does, but she has more health and moves a bit faster. That's her Ice attack, which does nothing. She also gets this Rain attack, which I kind of botched the animation. This is a work in progress. That's a Fire attack. And then there's the Tornado attack, which likewise does nothing. This one that's got mountains on it, that's an Earth attack, and it makes that thing fade. Star also has a Nature attack that can make it fade, but I figure I better do something differently for that. And as you can see, there's no real collision detection with these. These fire ones above, they're going to disappear later, but I'm not there yet. If you have to hit these little weak points. These barriers are thicker and they've got different beams traveling through them randomly. Unless you hit the right node with the right element, it's just not going to work. So let me switch to Star here. She's got that water attack. She can only use it on the ground. She's also got an air attack, but that's not going to do anything. This is her Nature attack. Goes right through these like they're not even there. This is the electric attack that she can learn depending on the circumstances. She's also got this ice move, which, no, that's not going to do anything. This is her fire move. Scatter Scorch is what I'm calling it, and it missed. That took care of that one. There we go. Now, if I want these to reappear, all I have to do is go in a door, go in a different door, and they're back. Enemies respawn. There's a reason why the enemies are made out of gemstones. And, you know, this is a work in progress. I don't have any collision detection that would stop the characters from walking through the elemental barriers yet. That is coming. But I wanted to show what happens when she fires her Nature attack, Bramble Bolt in. It just causes it to fade out, and then she can walk right through. Not that she couldn't before. This whole thing is called Crystal Calamity. The plot of it is that Z and Star are apprentice mages, and they've been given this task to go into this crystal cave and collect a bunch of gemstones. I haven't placed those gemstones yet. So far, all I've got are these background elements, but that's their task, and Z gets the brilliant idea of creating self-replicating golems. Golems are to magic what robots are to technology. Things that move on their own and are essentially pre-programmed. And these self-replicating golems go completely out of control. It's a very Sorcerer's Apprentice style plot line. And then Z and Star have to go on this adventure all over the place to to stop these golems from doing any real damage. And a lot of the traversal of the game is going to go through this crystal maze. I call it a maze, but there's essentially arrows on the wall saying, if you want to go to such and such zone, then just follow the arrows. Same thing with these gradients in the blocks on the walls. Green leads you to Emerald Estuary, which is the town of the Earth Mages. Blue leads you to Diamond Dunes. Orange leads you to Hot Hessianite. And here's some dialogue that I have in the game. And as you can see, there's some expressions that the characters have while they're in the dialogue system. And I really should do something about that Elipis being too high up, but oh well. Yeah, Star. I don't know these characters, or I should say, I don't know these furries personally. So I had to give them personalities based on what I've seen in their YouTube videos. Star is a bit more of a worrywart. She's much more interested in doing things by the book, probably because she expects it to be disastrous if she doesn't. Z is much more of a risk taker, and she is much more willing to bend the rules to get things done faster. And Star does have her guilty pleasures, however. Yeah, Z would too, but she doesn't feel guilt very often. I'm probably going to have a whole bunch of different tutorials that pop up that explain how to jump. It's the up arrow key, how to go through doors, how to cast their Dispel, which is that white star that flickers all over the place. Generic Purple Protogen is going to be a guest star party member for a specific segment of the game. That's actually going to be the outside of the palace. I'm making him an air mage. There's quite a few furries, some of them known personally to me, some of them are content creators on YouTube, but yeah, there's just a whole bunch of furries that I am borrowing characters from. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to squeeze my own character, Pop Ribbit, into it, but you know, he might just make a cameo, might do something more. But anyways, let's just continue with the dialogue. Our assignment is to collect gemstones and megacrystals. So what if we turned this megacrystal into a golem that can take the gems and make more golems out of those gems, and so on and so forth? Ooh, but what if those golems go out of control? Star is anticipating the entire plot of this game. Chillax, Star. Golems only do what they're programmed to do. But what if they multiply out of control? Star, you're not chillaxing. What if they get loose? Star. What if we have to chase them all over southwest Anthrovania through sewers and swamps, and we'll get our wands taken away when the Archmage finds out? Star! Star, just stop worrying. Why can't we just collect these gemstones the normal way? Ugh, that'll take forever. Really, we don't need to. All it takes to destroy a gem golem is a few effortless dispels. Yeah, dispels, they function as your regular attack in this game. They do not cost any MP to cast. And do you know how to stop them from getting loose? Easy peasy. I'll use a low power spell so the golems can't survive outside of the crystal maze. You're sure about this? Trust me. Higher ups reward outside the box thinking like that saves time and effort. If we want to get noticed, we need to do creative things like this. I have a really bad feeling about this. You hit enter next to this gemstone. I really need to change this from a speech balloon to a gear. My custom NPC system can de facto create something that looks like gear instead of a speech balloon when you interact with it. Now, these gems above us are essentially what's supposed to be blocking us. In reality, there's obviously an invisible wall, but that invisible wall will be gone later on in the plot. So here we go. You're just going to say no if I suggest we just collect the gems the slow stability totally doesn't lead to dangerous adventures way? Star, quit worrying. This will work and we'll be fine. Somehow I know I'll regret this, but here goes. So this, I should probably have this thing rise faster than it is rising. And maybe I should have different sizes of gemstones to make this effect look better. But the idea is that these gems are active, they're doing something, and the movement is intended to convey that. What's supposed to happen, and I haven't programmed this yet, is when you leave the crystal maze and go out to Emerald Estuary again, you get to see a bunch of gemstone golems just burst out of the cave mouth. And as typical with these 2D platformers, you can fall several stories and it doesn't hurt you at all. Oh boy. You know, maybe that particular part of it wasn't that well designed. I should probably create a platform of bricks just about here just so that it's easier to get in. And you know, something that I haven't demonstrated yet. This is off of this My Little Pony game engine that I created. Haven't shown the music yet, so I'll do that now. All right, so I certainly hope the audio hasn't completely freaked out. There was an error and the game did just crash, but again, this is a work in progress. You can see the general sort of thing that this game is intended to be, and if you're willing to have your character in my fan game, then feel free to drop a comment on this video. Thank you very much.